Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
No, I wasn't
around there.
I wasn't born yet when they did that, but I mean, I became friends with Michael, so.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
But
He has a funny. My dad has a story. He always told me, and he was in the studio. Yeah, he was.
So, you didn't see War of the World or anything?
I didn't see.
I mean,
no,
you
I
weren't
wasn't
around there.
I wasn't born yet when they did that, but I mean, I became friends with Michael, so.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
But
He has a funny. My dad has a story. He always told me, and he was in the studio recording, and there were some people making some noise outside the door, and they just wouldn't stop. And he was doing a big session with somebody, so he opened the door and said, "Hey, would you shut the f up?" And he said, "Michael Jackson peeked his head around and said, I'm so sorry."
Really?
My dad said, "Oh shit."
The War of the World, I did. I wish I still.
Working on Family Matters when I was about 5, 6 years old, and she was a receptionist for MJJ Productions, his production company.
Right.
I wrote a letter to him, and she was able to get it to him. He wrote a letter back.
Damn.
And then a year later, I was asked, along with Raven Simone, to present him with an NAACP award. And then we got to go backstage. My father and I got to go backstage afterwards. I met a couple of his cousins who were my age, still friends to this day. They're like my brothers. He invited me and my whole family to come to the ranch, and we did. And from that time on, he would just stay in contact with me, and I know his goal was to make sure that I was having a good time and having fun and being a child in the entertainment industry, because he didn't.
Yeah.
So that was always very important to him.
He was a child himself, right?
Oh,
Is that the way?
yeah.
That's his thing. Like it seemed to me like he just never. He always was a child, even as an adult.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a difficult thing to deal with.
People don't realize that he has been Michael Jackson since he was, a child, and everywhere he goes. I mean, I tell this story a lot. I've rode in a cab with him. People don't realize that he has been Michael Jackson since he was, a child, and everywhere he goes. I mean, I tell this story a lot. I rode in a cab with him one time in London, and because his car couldn't make it to the venue we were at, and so there's no tinted windows, and we're driving down the street for maybe a block and a half, and people who are eating on the sidewalks, walking down the street, their life stops, and then they start running after the car. And that's his life everywhere he goes. And then when he gets back to the hotel, there's a sea of people who've researched, that he might be staying there, that are waiting for him to get out. So it's impossible to have a normal life.
No.
And the thing about Michael with hanging around and enjoying being around children was that, and I was able to see this too, especially when I got older, is that nobody treats him normal. Nobody is authentic with him. Even the biggest name celebrities I've seen around him, and they could be one way in front of him and a different. You actually recently, Macaulay did a while ago, talking about staying in his room, and Michael's room was 2 stories tall, and there was never just you and him. There was his kids, his cousins, there was always people there. And the first time we stayed at the ranch with my dad, he invited me and my dad to stay in the room with all of us. His cousins were there.
Right.
And I knew 2 of the kids who've made claims about him, and then it's come out publicly that they were forced to lie by the parents.
Right.
So it's been tough to sit and watch.
I have a whole story that's